Hey guys, one day I was at school and I got bullied and
Me when I step on the Lego.
I have a hole in my shoe.
Storytime Animations. Between 2015 and 2019, these channels were absolutely everywhere. The 2010s overall were a rough time for animation channels because back around 2013, YouTube made it so that videos receive ad revenue based on watch time instead of views. It basically made it impossible for animations to make consistent money. Before this, you could spend months making like a 3-minute animation, and it would make most of its money back, depending on the views. I'm not saying this is a direct cause for Storytime animations, but they did start to appear around that time, so... But whatever, the Storytime animation genre exploded around 2016. This allowed any animator, good or bad, to make a living off of YouTube doing this. I'd say the golden era of Storytime animation was pretty good. You had Domix, Swoozie, Odd Ones Out, and JaidenAnimations. They all make pretty entertaining videos that I watched all the time. The problem came when, like I said, literally anyone could make a Storytime animation channel, no matter the skill level. This resulted in an oversaturation of lazy, boring, and sometimes not even animated Storytime channels. For every good channel, there are at least 10 bad ones. The formula was that lazy and simple. This led to a slow death for this genre. By 2020, most channels either changed up their content, kept going to various degrees of success, or completely stopped altogether. By that point, I definitely didn't care for these channels anymore. I was a part of the hate train and was happy to see them die out. Which is funny to me considering only a couple years prior, I watched so many of these channels that if I talked about them all in this video, it could be like an hour long. Actually, never mind, I barely remember most of them. They really do just blend together most of the time. Anyway, despite the factual slander, this genre was pretty good when the person behind it knew what they were doing. Also, this genre was filled with endless controversies. Probably some of the worst, most idiotic shit from what I remember. So that's another plus for it being dead, I guess. But yeah, anyway, I'm just gonna go highlight the main ones I used to watch. Also some shit ones because it's funny. Alright, the first channel I ever watched from this genre was around 2015. So it was right before Storytime channels really started to pop off and were crazy mainstream. Anyway, that channel was Swoozie. Low-key probably top 3 Storytime channels of all time. They were funny, well animated, and just plain entertaining. Bro, I loved this channel back in 5th grade. Pause. I should not have been watching him back then. Like, look at some of these videos. Hell, I literally remember not even understanding some of the shit he was saying back then. Like, I didn't know what a fucking hickey was. Still don't. But anyway, this is just a classic channel. He's been making videos for a long time and making Storytime animations years before they were mainstream. Swoozie was just a pioneer of the genre, and you could maybe argue he isn't really a Storytime animator. Most of the really well-known and well-animated videos were done by other YouTubers like Black Sen, but still, he actually made most of them himself, and he also danced with the Marshmallow Man and the shitty YouTube Rewind next to all the other cartoon characters. So yeah, he's obviously a Storytime animator. Also, unprivatize the Rewind's YouTube. Fucking pussy. Even though, strangely, as you can see, he's probably the only one who actively showed their face. Like in the videos, it would cut between the animated segments and him talking to the camera. This actually gave him a unique style because literally every single other Storytime animator fit under the same archetype of insecure, shy, introvert, antisocial, self-conscious, ugly loser sitting in their bedroom making videos. Kind of like these ones. He was literally the only one that ever showed his face, and low-key, no homo, but I'm not finishing that sentence. This joke needs to die. Anyway, Confessions of a Disney Employee is probably, maybe, what he's most known for. It's at least the first videos I saw from him. It was low-key the first time as a kid that I realized, hold up, Disney kinda sucks total ass? I never imagined working at Disney could be so fucking miserable. Here it is. I've been to Disney only like 2 times in my life, and it is overrated as hell. I also really remember liking the Driving While Black video, only because I thought the black lady cop was really hot. Facts, my brother. 2 girls, 1 cup of ice is actually crazy. I don't know how this video managed to stay up on this platform and get 31 million views. No age restrictions or takedowns or nothing. But God forbid I show a pixel of Minecraft feet in the futuristic hub video. Anyway, like most Storytime animations, I continued to watch him for a good couple of years. He was always one of my favorites to go back to because his videos just felt so much different to everyone else's. I remember one of the last videos I watched from him was the Fast and Curious 2 because it randomly was blowing up. And bro, when I saw that in my recommended, it had been like 2 years since I stopped watching Storytime animations altogether. It low-key brought a tear to my eye.
Is that you? Obito?
Obito Uchiha!
Anyway, Swoozie still uploads from time to time. It's mostly just him talking into the camera about a certain topic, and occasionally one will be animated. The style of the video is basically the same as they were like 10 years ago, which in this case is not always a bad thing. Nothing more to be said, he's low-key the GOAT. Okay, let's get it over with. The Odd Ones Out, easily the most popular and well-known storytime animator on the platform. You could even go as far to say he's the main reason this genre got so popular in the first place. In his prime, he was raking in hundreds of millions of views. Before YouTube, he was making webcomics on the absolute shit site known as Tumblr. Fucking what? Anyway, eventually he started doing YouTube and he was making a couple animations for a good 2 years with pretty good amount of success before one day uploading his first Subway video. Now to say this video exploded would be an understatement. He went from 100,000 subscribers in March to 1 million in August. That is insane. I remember watching his roommate's video like shortly before he got 1 million subscribers and I thought that shit was fucking awesome. For some reason. But anyway, I loved Odd Ones Out. I liked his art style, his humor, and his overall content. It was way more suited to me as a 5th grader than Swoozie. I don't know why I watched those videos. Whatever, the Subway videos are still absolute classics. This kind of relatable humor and topics was his bread and butter. I mean, that is the appeal of Storytime animations. The relatability. He pioneered the genre into a cliff. Also, ignore the fact that Domix and Swoozie had been doing this for years and their videos are way better, but just don't worry about that. Anyway, like I said, into a cliff. For some reason, the popularity of the Odd Ones Out would spawn in the absolute worst, most shameless copycats. Like, does anyone remember that Fox Goodman, Matt Spicer guy? Whether or not they're the same person, I don't really know. But they both definitely shamelessly copied the Odd Ones Out. And worst of all, were incredibly lazy and boring. That drama was everywhere back in the day. Marshmallow YouTubers are popping off left and right, and some managed to actually get pretty popular. Long gone were the days of actually well done storytime animations. Everyone had a shitty Marshmallow character on a white background talking about getting bullied in school. It all became slop because of him. But actually it wasn't really his fault. Most storytime animators didn't copy him completely. They actually had to stand out because of the influx of mediocre channels that started to get made, so that makes it more special if you find a good one among the slop. Also, the whole white background thing, Domix did that shit years before him. It was just an industry standard. The Odd Ones Out just continued making pretty good content for a couple years. He never really interacted with the controversy at all, so who knows what he thought of all the copycat shit. He was still my favorite YouTuber for years. Then I got out of middle school. Yeah, it was cool to see him grow and watch his animation and drawings improve and stuff, but just like everything else, I just stopped watching his videos. They just didn't interest me anymore, and they were also just embarrassing to watch low-key. That Life is Fun video was one of the last things he uploaded before I stopped watching, and holy shit is it hot ass. It's even worse now considering Boy in the Back of a Van is in it.
I was never taught what laws there are. I was never taught what laws there are.
Anyway, by this point, I still thought he was a fine YouTuber. But one thing that made me lose all the respect I had for him was when he made that mobile game. Because in his scams that should be illegal video, he clearly states that horrible mobile games with constant ads are predatory and immoral. Then barely a year later, he releases his own shitty mobile game that's exactly the same type of garbage he said should be literally illegal. So that kind of sucked. Watching a YouTuber you like become a hypocrite sellout. Luckily, I had all but stopped watching by the time he released this game. I was too busy watching, what was popular back in 2020, Mr. Beast.
As divided as the country was,
When does
Biden
Carl
won the
Jacobs show
largest-
up? Anyway, I don't really have more to say. Eventually, he would end up making his own animated Netflix show, which I didn't watch, and I heard it sucked balls.
All the writing, the storyboarding, the designing, the voice acting has been done with little to no human interaction.
Yeah, bro, we could tell. I've seen a lot of complaints from his old viewers about how he doesn't animate his videos anymore. I don't really care about that. It's obvious with how well animated the videos got and the budgets being larger that he would end up getting like a team to create videos. It makes sense. The real problem is that his humor just started to get more loud, annoying, and just plain unfunny. Obviously catering to his fucking baby audience. What the fuck? I guess I could see how someone would still watch these if they were 5. I absolutely hate how they animate the fingers. That shit is disgusting. These marshmallow freaks should not have fingers. Also, really, bruh, a Pokemon Nuzlocke video? JaidenAnimations did that shit 5 years ago. You're a little late to the party, bub. Bro thinks he's fucking Wolverine. Why did I add that? Speaking of which, JaidenAnimations. Now you may be asking what a middle school boy was doing watching JaidenAnimations. Take a wild fucking guess.
I will say that, embarrassingly, JaidenAnimations is kind of my YouTube crush.
In reality, I remember seeing that video she did with the Odd Ones Out talking about Arizona, and then I just started getting recommended her videos, and back then, I was just consuming storytime animation content like it was pig eating shit. Her videos were much better quality in my opinion, while also still being pretty entertaining. It's not that embarrassing. What would really be embarrassing is if I referred to her as one of my YouTube crushes while being a 36-year-old man making anti-SJW videos. videos? Now that would suck. I always liked watching her mini Pokemon videos. I'm your typical Pokemon fan. I haven't played a single game in the series, other than like Brick Bronze, you know, that doesn't count. Top 5 Pokemon, Ampharos, Registeel, Go-Goat, Typhlosion, Scolipede. After looking up images of my favorite Pokemon, Scolipede might not be my favorite anymore. I felt 1% of a Gardevoir fan's pain, I guess. But anyway, even when the Storytime animation genre started to die out for me, I still enjoyed watching her Pokemon Nuzlocke videos. They also seem to like her a lot. Anyway, her content actually hasn't changed all that much. It's just like the Odd Ones Out. She still gets a pretty good amount of views from her loyal fan base. 90% of them probably gooners though, so that sucks. Oh yeah, that one thing. I'd say a good unfortunate 50% of people do not recognize JaidenAnimations from YouTube. And that's all I'm gonna say about that. You saw the picture I used for the poll. You know it was going to be mentioned in this video. Yo, mom! It is low-key disgusting, and I've always felt really bad for her.
Final nominee in the artist category is Jaiden, who didn't draw that one.
But enough about that. Her animation has also improved a lot, but unlike the Odd Ones Out, I'd say it's way more faithful to what it always looked like. Whether or not she still animates most of herself, I don't know. But also, like I said, I don't care. Like, if they still write the video and are obviously using their voice, then it's still pretty much them, right? I'd even say the same thing about the Odd Ones Out. It's just that his writing got worse and he's annoying now. That's not his fault. Wait a minute, yes it is. Yeah, I'm sure the content's good, but you could not catch me dead watching this shit, sorry. Anyway, JaidenAnimation controversies. Honestly, I don't really have that much to say about them. She has that not being straight video where she talks about not being attracted to anything, and the face reveal one. All the slop drama channels really latched onto that. True or not, sorry Jaiden, that is not going to stop them. You know who I'm talking about.
There's so much porn!
It's like Tracer from Overwatch being gay. I've seen so much stuff that says otherwise. Like, is it even true? Yeah, that's fucked up. Cut that out.
That's not gay. What the hell is that?
Anyway, she's a VTuber now. That's it. Wait, what's this? Hold up. JaidenAnimations herself is here in the Vicroy studio. Say hi, Jaiden.
Hey guys, it's me, JaidenAnimations. Rudely toot toot.
Wow, thanks, Jaiden. That sure was an Asian female talking. You know what? Let's just go through all the channels I remember watching that I honestly could not write a whole section for. Domix. Now, this guy basically pioneered the whole genre. He was doing this shit before everyone else. And on top of that, the videos were well made and funny. And he surprisingly still uploads, sort of, kinda. Something else YT. I never really liked this guy. I always thought he was kind of annoying. His music also sucks. Straight coworker music.
On something else.
Look at me, I will do and will succeed.
That's annoying.
Tim Tom. Now this guy is basically the definitive Odd Ones Out clone, and I never really liked his content too much, but despite that, he seemed to actually learn and grow a lot. I'd say his videos changed some of the most from what they used to be. Or you could just say he was copying Odd One. Or you could say he was just, or you could continue to, or you could just say he was copying Odd One, or you could say he was just copying.
Today, Junior?
Or you could still say he's copying Odd Ones Out if you really want to be an asshole about it. Fucking kill me. He stopped uploading as of 2 years ago, but low-key, I think bro could have kept going. He was still getting a pretty good amount of views in comparison to most. Talentless writer. I always liked that he did more skits and parodies than Storytime animations, but the humor is always right up my alley. A lot of it was actually relatable, not the fake relatable that most Storytime animators were into. Also, I will always like a really good shitty art style. You know what I mean? It enhances the humor in my opinion. And wait, that's kind of it. Now that I think about it, I'm not as tapped into this community as I thought I was. Thank God. I just watched my main few and that was it. I'm low-key a tourist. But anyway, AlexClark is the worst Storytime animator. Not always though. I actually remember thoroughly enjoying his videos back in the day. Hell, the running away from home video is still a banger. My main problem with him would just be all the obvious fake stories. If there's one thing I hate the most out of Storytime animations, it's the fake stories. Look, I get it. Eventually you're gonna run out of interesting things to talk about. It's inevitable. Also, every single other one did it, let's be honest. But 14 videos about a made-up story about how you fucked your babysitter? My hot, sweaty ass, any of that is true. Holy shit, he milked the fuck out of it. Talk about gooner bait. One risky clickbait thumbnail blows up and bro throws all his morals out the window. Clickbait, clickbait, clickbait. Gooner, 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 cuck, cuck, cuck. What the fuck? Even his banner has him getting cucked. Other than the gooner ones, he still has some of the worst thumbnails of all time. Like, what am I even supposed to be looking at? Bro knows what he's doing and he's been doing it for years. Also, there's no way he didn't know that his fan base was full of like literal children, especially when Odd Ones Out started blowing up. No Storytime animation fan was over the age of 13, which is even worse considering he always showed his face and, no offense, looked like a 36-year-old. It's worse, he's literally 40.
What the f?
Why are you fucking here, man? You're so old. Where's your wife? Go home to your family, dude.
Well, before you ask, the reason I'm giving Swoozie a pass for this and not him is because Swoozie never directed these towards kids, doing it years before the fan base was filled with babies, and he eventually stopped doing it. None can be said for AlexClark. Gross. The main reason he made so many of these babysitter vids was probably because nothing else was doing as good. Like, literally, this is what he was known for the most. Nothing else he did would ever be as popular as this series, and his channel would eventually lose more and more views, despite how many Gooner thumbnails he made. Other than that, his constant overuse of the evil sister joke got, like, really old, and the fake exaggerated voice he always put on was kind of annoying. His art style isn't really good or original, but it's not bad enough to be funny like other channels. I guess on a technical side, he wouldn't be the worst Storytime animated channel, just morally. Also, I'm definitely not alone in this. He seems to be one of the most hated people in the community. Other than the weird Gooner thumbnails, the two reasons why I found were that he accidentally, or maybe purposefully, absolutely on purpose, showed Jaiden's face in an old VidCon vid. So he's basically the entire reason this video was made. And he only addressed this 8 years later. Better late than never, I guess. This video kinda sucks dick, I can't lie. He basically disagrees with how the incident happened and claims that he only pressured her multiple times to show her face out of love and support. Like, no dude, you just wanted to be the first one to show her face so you could put the hashtag Jaiden face reveal. It plainly and simply does not matter if you disagree on what happened. You completely disrespected her and her boundaries for views. This is not something you do to someone you call a friend. And the only reason he addressed it publicly years later, by the way, was because people started to remember the shitty thing he did, so he was trying to save face. Yeah, this guy fucking sucks. The other one was, of course, another thing with JaidenAnimation where he drew her crying while eating a pizza. Now, to be fair, he only did this because a poll told him to, but it's pretty obtuse to claim that only after the video was uploaded that you remember Jaiden actually has an eating disorder. But whatever, he took it down and apologized immediately. It could have been a giant misunderstanding and accident, so fair enough. Your content is still Gooner clickbait shit. Discount Brewstew, discount Swoozie, keep their names out of your mouth. Speaking of which, the absolute GOAT of Storytime animation is Brewstew. This isn't just me talking, I'm pretty sure 90% of people have the same opinion. Right around the time I was finally starting to stop watching Storytime bullshit, Brewstew started getting recommended to me, and it was like a breath of fresh air. You had shitty MS Paint drawings and animation in a genre that's been dominated by like corporate style safe slop. Ew! A narrator who sounds like he just doesn't care at all what he says. Like every other Storytime channel is run by some wimpy art college kid stereotype, while this channel is kind of like hearing a story from your blue collar alcoholic uncle. Like anyone could have done this shit if they tried. It's just an entirely different vibe to what has been seen before. It also helps that this channel is just funny as fuck.
And then we can give him some beer. He can have my shirt. Hey, you want to fuck my wife while you're at it?
Now, Brewstew had been making these videos for at least 6 years before he really started to blow up in 2018. At least I'm assuming he did, because that's when his most popular bangers are getting millions of views. One of the main reasons I enjoyed his videos so much was because of how simple they were. Not just in animation, but most of them were only like a couple minutes long. He never wasted any time, and he always delivered constant funny jokes.
Little Matt's face is totally filled with terror. He knows if he gets hit with that damn rock, he's gonna explode on impact.
His videos are like top 10 rewatchable YouTube stuff of all time. And they were always super relatable. Not yet. Like, I was a 9-year-old boy once. I remember doing a ton of this bullshit when I was that age. Like fighting with my friends on a trampoline and almost breaking my leg. Shitty, horrible 6th grade camps. I even remember in middle school we had our own large black man that just stood there and talked into a mic. But instead of having large muscles, he was just kind of fat. And unfortunately for him, this was 2017, so everyone would just make fun of him by making fake accounts for him on Instagram because, you know, middle schoolers are fucking assholes. I also definitely totally didn't do this. Not to him, at least. Anyway, I always loved how shitty the thumbnails were, too. Especially this weird font he would use. This awful Christmas red and green that really made it pop. His formula is just unbeatable. He can literally make a video on anything due to how simple it is. Hide and seek, Toys R Us, summer vacation, school lunch, even niche things like divorce court babysitting. Endless possibilities. I still really enjoy the Blockbuster video because it reminds me of the last time I was in a Blockbuster, before they all burned down back in 2009. I just remember pissing my pants to the box art of Dead Silence and renting Ponyo.
Good movie.
Oh god, I've been watching too much Storytime animations. I'm starting to tell my own stories now. Someone put me out of my misery before a white background appears behind me. Anyway, I unfortunately lost interest in his channel around 2020 because I just couldn't care less about any Storytime animation. Though it's been a while since I've watched one of his videos, and yeah, they're basically the same as they were in 2018. Same style, humor, thumbnails, everything.
The toilet seat was up, and I fell right into the goddamn toilet. And yeah, my uncle's piss was in the toilet bowl. Thanks for asking.
Like I said, his formula's great. Why change it? It got a little old for me, but plenty of people still watch him, even if he doesn't really upload as much as he used to. I like this one comment that says he's the only one that isn't talentless, like he doesn't draw in MS Paint. But to be fair, Storytime Animations and talentless in the same sentence is like talking about butter on toast. Anyway, go to channel. Nothing more to be said. Before we wrap this video up, the last person I want to talk about is SrPelo. Now, he isn't really a Storytime animator. He actually just makes really good popular animations. I remember back in 2015, Super Wahoo was the funniest fucking thing to me. Also the Undertale videos, but I'm not here to really talk about all that stuff. Anyway, despite him actually making a couple Storytime animations himself, the thing I want to talk about is his parody animation mocking the genre back in 2019. Every Storytime animation channel. This video was hilarious when it dropped because no one had really called out the tropes of this genre like this before, at least in a funny and interesting way. You had the white background cliche, introvert jokes, the school bits, basically everything that had been done in Storytime animations. You know, that's why it's called every Storytime animation ever. Hell, I'm even responsible for doing the whole "that's relatable" bit in this very video. Anyway, most people, including the animators parodied in the video themselves, saw it and generally enjoyed it. I thought it was funny. The only person who seemed to have a problem with it was Aaron Hansen from the Game Grumps, talking about some bullshit like, "This is the kind of shit I thought all the time when I made my shitty Newgrounds animations back in the day. This is so mean." And blah blah blah. Get back to your room, Gramps. Typical grifter shit of making something out of absolutely nothing. Oni's comments said it best. Grow the fuck up and get off your high horse. The fact that Pelo even had to fucking apologize for this is insane. But his response video was a banger, so he gets the last laugh, I guess. God forbid one Storytime animation thing doesn't have some stupid fucking YouTube drama behind it. Saw everyone having fun and not paying attention to him for like 5 fucking seconds. Goddamn Harry Potter type shit. I fucking hate Game Grumps. He was just mad he wasn't included in the Newgrounds animator part. Ew. As much as I'd love to hate on Aaron Hansen for the next 10 minutes, this video isn't about that, so let's move on. 10 out of 10, relatable video. Anyway, Storytime Animations. Rest in piss. Actually, you know, despite all the shit I've said in this video, I don't actually hate Storytime animations. Most of them are pretty good, well made and entertaining. It's just the mountains of shit that really drags the whole genre down. After finishing this script and looking at it, it seems a lot meaner than usual, but trust me, most of what I said in this video was just exaggerated and jokes. Don't take it too seriously. I would take this content over Futuristic Hub and Annoying Orange any day. Before they got too bloated, Storytime animations always used to remind me of really early YouTube. Just a single person sitting down and using their talents and skills to make an enjoyable video. Not doing it for the YouTube algorithm, but just because they enjoy doing it. For that, I have to respect it. At least a little bit. It's just really easy to make fun of. Despite all I've said, there is talent to be found here, but it is trying to find a needle in a haystack though. And also the haystack is pretty irrelevant. No one really makes the videos anymore for a reason. But anyway, that's all the time I have for today. If you enjoyed the video, you know, like and sub and all that stuff, but if you hated it, start some classic shitty fake Storytime animation drama in the comments, please. Or I don't know, get mad that I hate Aaron Hansen, I guess. Wait, it's 2026. Does anyone fucking care about Aaron Hansen? Whatever. Check out this cool, awesome fan art I got on my Twitter. But me being the prestigious artist I am, I do have some critiques. Allow me to destroy your gallery. Number 1, that yellow rat thing, not legally distinct enough. I am not trying to get sued. And number 2, I would never smoke the devil's lettuce. But anyway, make more fan art for me. That's cool. Thank you. Also, I'm sorry this video took longer than usual. I didn't really mean for that to happen. I'll try to get my schedule back to normal in February. But anyway, yeah, hope you enjoyed the video and all that. Thanks for your patience, and thank you for watching.